Well, welcome everybody. Today I have the joy of having with me Jennie Lynn. She's got this great new book out called Magnetic Love. Don't you just love that title? Hi Jennie, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Bonnie? It's a pleasure to be on here with you. Very
Well,
excited.
it is so nice to finally be able to get together for this interview. We've been kind of planning on it for a while, and
Yep.
I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed your take on this. You had quite a journey leading up to writing this book. And so, first of all, tell me a little bit about the title, Magnetic Love.
Yeah. So when I was trying to figure out what title I wanted to have for my book, I started to say, okay, well, this book's about the law of attraction. It's how I met my soulmate. It's about love. And when I thought of the word attraction, I thought of a magnet, because I said two magnets are attracted to each other. And I said, that's almost the way I feel with my fiance is our connection is magnetic. It's such a strong pull that we are together and we're strong and unified. And that's what love is all about, is complete and utter resonance. So when I was going through different titles, it kind of really just struck me, like I was asking the universe to actually send it to me. And after going through 25 titles, that's the one that I was like, that's the one. So I just knew.
Good. That's good. Well, and titles are so important, aren't they? I mean, it's what first attracts our eyes when we're scrolling through all the different books that we could potentially buy, and all the book covers on the bookshelf. It's like, oh, that looks interesting. So yeah, I think it's a great title, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question.
Thank you.
So is this the first book that you've written?
Yeah, it's the first actual book that I've written. I've done some magazine writing, but never dabbled into being an author before. So this is my first venture.
Awesome, awesome. So we hear a lot. I mean, there's a lot of books out there about the law of attraction. Why is this book different than all the rest of them that are out there?
Right. I think this one is unique because a lot of books, they're either talking about love or they're talking about law of attraction or they're talking about the mind separately. And what I was thinking is that there's not really a book out there that really kind of combines how our habits, our paradigms, and our mind plays a role in understanding and relating to other people. And again, how that there are absolute laws that govern our universe, whether people believe in or understand them. I'm trying to draw awareness to that. And a lot of people are attracted to love. They want to learn more about love. They read books about love, but they're still not getting it. And that was me. I read every top book about love out there, and I still wasn't connecting the dots. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And it wasn't until I met Bob Proctor and I really started to study his material. I mean, everybody's seen him from the movie The Secret. And even he himself admitted that that movie actually left out a very important part. And that's actually kind of why I called it Magnetic Love, is because people don't understand that the law of attraction is actually a secondary law. And it's responding to the law of vibration, which is the primary law. So that connection is magnetic. The law of attraction is always responding, whether it's what you want or don't want, based on what our frequency is. So if you're not connecting to the frequency of love, it's because you're not the source of love. You're not creating yourself as the magnet for love. You're actually repelling what you want. It's almost like for like attracts like. That's how magnets work. That's the frequency that we need to be on so we can attract what we want. So that's kind of what I was doing, is trying to bridge what I felt as a gap that really helps people understand themselves first and know that love has to come from within. We have to love ourselves first, then we can attract love outside of ourselves, and then apply that to get anything we want, whether it's health, wealth, money, a car, anything we want to manifest. Love is the most powerful force in the universe and the only thing that transcends all time and space. So I thought it just naturally came to me as a subject of passion and something that I just really wanted to share with the world.
Oh, that's awesome. In my generation, we called that vibes.
Yep.
So it's not really a new concept, and as a matter of fact, you see it in scripture, you see it in a lot of other places. Different philosophers and stuff have talked about it in different ways, but it still boils down to your attitude. A friend of mine used to say, your attitude determines your altitude, and attitude, all that is really the vibration that you're giving out based on some decisions that you have made. So yeah, you're absolutely right there that I used to tell, I've had some friends and young people that I've had an opportunity to talk to over time, and they'd say, why can I never find the right person? I just always make one mistake after another. And I said, well, first you have to start by being the person that you want to be with, so, and it still comes down to everything worth having is worth putting in the effort to make it happen. And I
Right.
think that that's probably one of the things, in my opinion, that set your book apart from a lot of the other books that I've read about the law of attraction. You didn't leave that part out. I think, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that think that the law of attraction means that you can just want something and it doesn't require any effort on your part, and that's simply not true.
Right.
So, so what kind of moving forward in their lives can the people who read your book expect after completing your book?
Right. So I kind of take everybody through a journey. Like my book is divided into 6 sections. And we start off by talking like what love really is, because a lot of people never really studied it. They're not really sure what it is. They don't know when they found it. They don't really understand themselves. So I go over a lot about what love really is, a lot about our self-image, how do we learn how to love. And then I take people a little bit deeper into understanding the power of our mind, why we get stuck. Things like negative thinking, that the impact it actually has on our body. Then I break it down into the power of our mind, understanding what a paradigm is. Because if we don't understand our habits, like, because our habits don't require any conscious thinking, they're kind of deeply ingrained within us. We're not aware of what we're doing. We're not aware of what we're saying sometimes or what we're thinking, but that are, if you don't control your thoughts, they can kind of spiral out of control. And so I go through a lot about the manifestation process, and I go deeply into understanding what is the root cause, what is the common denominator of not getting what you want? Why are we subsequently blocking ourselves? And it's because the paradigms are basically, again, that programming we picked up, our belief system, and that impacts our attitude. It impacts our thoughts, feelings, actions, and behaviors. And so when you kind of break things back down to the subconscious mind, that's
Right.
really our emotional mind. That's what's in charge of executing our desires. So again, if we're not manifesting something we want, it's because something on a deeper level is holding us back, whether it's a limiting belief, it could be fear, because again, any negative emotion puts you in your whole body into a negative vibration, because every cell in our body has a positive and negative charge. And so if we want to attract something positive like love, like you said, we need to be love first. But we also need to be very clear and specific on what it is we're asking for, because everybody's like, I just want a relationship, I want love. But it wasn't until for me, I said, I want my soulmate, and this is exactly what I want in him. And he did the same thing. And it's cool because, when I was talking with Bob Proctor about this, he's like, love is all around us. It's omnipresent, just like oxygen. It's just a matter of tuning into it. It's not just like you find love in a person. Like, that's part of it. That's just the feeling. But it's really you just feeling the energy. And obviously, like, when you feel love, it actually stimulates the neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin, the bonding chemicals in our brain. And that's why it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of it is, again, I bring people through a journey, unlike something they've ever really read in other books, because it's very superficial, but this is very metaphysical. And it's, again, a lot of people are not understanding that, if they really want to make changes in their life, they got to change something deep within themselves. We all have that talent and ability within us, but we're really only using a fraction of our potential. We really don't even know what we have to offer a potential partner. We haven't studied ourselves. So how do we really even know who we are and what we want,
Right.
and if we haven't defined that, again, it's going to be very ambiguous to the universe, and it's going to be hard for the law of attraction to send us exactly what we want. So it's actually just sending us a mirror of what our frequency is, what our paradigms are. So that's all you would need to know to look at. Look at your results. If you're not getting results you want, what do you need to change? You need to study yourself more, constant spaced repetition, break those paradigms. It's not an easy process. I've been through it myself, but that's why I had a mentor, and I feel like it's very powerful to have a mentor.
Yes, it is. It is. And one of the things that I've discovered over time is that even the mentors need mentors.
Yeah.
There's always someone who knows a little more than you do and can show you. And the difference between a mentor and a teacher is a mentor shows you. A teacher teaches and gets things into your brain, but a mentor actually shows you how. It's not just about what, but it's about how. And so that's really wonderful that you're doing this. Now, probably, I'm going from the sublime here to maybe sort of the opposite. One of the things that people wonder, and like I said, I've had young people come to me and ask, I've got to be making some kind of a mistake here. So what would you say are the top or the prime mistakes that people are making in their relationship?
So I think that a lot of the mistakes that people are making is, I think that they draw a lot of baggage, like from maybe prior relationships, but also not paying attention to patterns and very valuable feedback about maybe why the relationship failed. Sometimes we blame the other person. They hurt me. They did this. They did that. but realizing again, how did we play a part in that? How did we attract that on some level? Like we're so stuck in our own minds. Again, without this emotional maturity, this emotional intelligence, we're very quick to act out of ego and protect ourselves in a defense mechanism type of a way. So we really never actually see, why did that relationship go downhill? We can't evaluate it. You know, we're so stuck in like the feeling of it and the cloudiness and everything. But I think a lot of people, because they don't know what love is, they mistake it for infatuation or for lust, and they get all caught up in the feeling that they really kind of ignore or make excuses for red flags, or they're not being objective, or they're not really intuitive enough to where they're actually like, that's what they say, pay attention to somebody's actions, not their words. They listen to what somebody's saying and they get all caught up in it, and then they kind of get disappointed later on down the line when their true colors show through. So it's being again, very much the power of awareness, like raising your level of awareness, being intuitive, understanding yourself to the point where you can understand another, and just you'll feel if it's right. You know, you should know, like, this person, I feel great with this person, I feel bad. Like their vibration will either raise or lower yours. So that should tell you everything you need to know. Does this person put me in a good mood, or do they drag me down? But you got to say to yourself, for me, one of the most liberating things I did was I finally, like, because I was like a serial dater. I did not want to be single. I could not be by myself. I hated being single. So I would just attract guys, and I would just take what I could get because I had something was better than nothing. But I never really demanded what I deserved. So I would just settle for what I was getting, you know, and I would just try to make the relationship work. I'd say, I don't want this breakup. I had like breakup-ophobia. So I was like, I don't want this to end. It's such a roller coaster to go up, down. And so I just finally one time I said, you know what? I love myself more. I actually would prefer to be alone. This relationship is so bad, you know, to the point where I really just need to get out of here. This is actually dragging me down. And that created the void for the universe to fill me with something that was meant for me and that I did finally deserve. And I really got serious again. I created a vision board, got very clear on what it is I wanted, that I wanted my soulmate, not just a relationship, not just love, not just a man, because I was getting all those things, but it wasn't what I wanted. And so I said, maybe the mistake I'm making is I'm not getting clear. I need to really love myself first, because you can't give what you don't have. If you're not overflowing with love, you're literally like, I was saying, I just want somebody to love. Well, really, my subconscious energy said, I need you to love me because I don't love myself. Right. And that's the turnoff. That was turning people off. But again, we don't see that. It's not like we know, oh, well, I'm putting off this energy. It's on a subconscious level. We're not aware of it. Right. And that's the thing is, if nobody has heard of the subconscious mind, you're in trouble, because that subconscious mind is in control of 95% of our behaviors. It's the paradigms that are in control there. And again, that controls our attitude. It controls our thoughts, feelings, and actions, which again, make up our attitude. And so again, emotional intelligence is very powerful, because again, it allows us to shift to a positive vibration. And all emotions are is a conscious awareness of whatever vibration we're in.
So it really seriously comes down to making a choice, doesn't it?
It does. Yep.
Yeah.
And even one of my chapters, even one of my chapters is called The Choice is Yours, because like I said, if we want a different result, we've got to make a better choice, make a better decision.
Exactly. Well, someone I really respect often says that decisions determine destiny, and I really believe that to be true. And I think probably the first realization you need to come to is that that's the only thing that you have any control over, is your own decisions and the choices that you make. Everything else is, you know, I mean, you can't force anybody to do anything. You really can't, because even when it appears that you're being successful, you're not, because you're not in their head. You're not, you know, it's not the way you form relationships. You form relationships based on mutual interests and all those kinds of things, but you've got to have something to give in a relationship in order to get everything out of it that you should. So in marketing terms, we always say you can't sell out of an empty wagon. And I think that so many times I have told my young friends, look, you need to step back and become the person that you most want to be, and you will automatically start finding yourself in the presence of other people who have that similar, as you say, vibration. And so I think that it's just some really, really solid advice in your book, and I think that it's something that if people are kind of struggling with their relationships, and even if it's not with someone who, for instance, is dating, but maybe somebody who's already in a relationship, to be able to sit down and say, okay, so you know, where am I in all of this? You know, do I feel, first of all, do I feel worthy of being loved? Because I think I see a lot of people who are in relationships, and the thing that they're constantly sort of generating, the vibe they're putting out, or whatever you want to call that, is, you know, I'm just so grateful that you love me because I'm certainly not worth loving. And you
Yeah.
know, and so they're basically inviting people to kind of abuse them, which is a sad situation. Not to say that people who abuse are blameless. What I'm saying is sometimes, you know, the things that you're putting out are actually causing people to treat you differently than they would otherwise. So I see people who've been in relationships for years and years and years that still don't have the relationship they could have because they're not putting everything into the relationship that they should. So there's just so much to it. But I think that your book is a really good place to start if you really need to step back and try to figure things out before moving forward. So I just really wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. And everybody, we're going to have links right down here that will take you to where you can go and get a copy of Magnetic Love by Jennie Lynn. And I think that you'll find that it's a read worth your time. So thank you,
Yeah,
Jennie.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I know you'll put the link down there, but if you go to www.thelovegenie.com, there's actually a free report about, you know, what love is. And I actually included, I know at the beginning we were talking about what are the common mistakes people are making. I actually made a list of all 20 that I make. So that's a free checklist and a free gift if people go to The Love Genie. That's TheLoveGenie.
It's right there, guys.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
So look down there for that link. We'll have both the link for the book and for the Love Genie. And I just think that's awesome that you took the time to do this, and you took your experience that could have been a very negative aspect of your life, and you transformed it into something that not only made a difference for yourself, but will make a difference hopefully for a lot of other people.
Yeah, and like I said, what you were saying is I hope that the people that maybe are in love but they're not in a great relationship is that really understanding that the honeymoon phase is not a phase. We've been conditioned to believe that it's something that comes up and goes down, but that's something I really want to cultivate, like a lifelong honeymoon phase, because that's what I'm living. Me and my fiance, like every day we fall deeper and deeper into love, and that's the way love is meant to be. But we confuse, again, people think, you know, that person hurt me, well, love stinks or something. So that's another topic for another day. But just as another aside is if you go to the website, thelovegenie.com, you will land on my website for the next month. Like my book is actually going to go on Amazon this week, but the launch is on July 18th. So up until July 18th, they can get the book for free just for the cost of shipping. They'll get the ebook sent to them while they wait for it to ship. And then when it goes on Amazon on July 18th, there's actually going to be hundreds of dollars worth of free bonuses to celebrate the official launch. So note those dates.
Okay, you hear that, folks? Jennie's just giving stuff away. She's just gonna, and you know what? And as a result, she's gonna have a magnet that's gonna have people buy her book and tell other people about her book. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you know someone who is in a relationship that might could use some good advice, I suggest you pass this video on to them. Be sure to like and share, and we'll see you again with Bonnie the Bookaholic. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bonnie. It's a pleasure.